Welcome, everyone. We have the Studio Series Age of Extinction Optimus Prime. This guy is a leader class figure, at least in price point. He comes in a pretty big box, and what you get is more or less a Voyager size figure. However, there is a decent bit of engineering with this guy, and after messing with it for a little while, it is pretty clever what they've done, and there's lots of cool little things about the figure. By no means is it going to be, a very perfect representation of the figure from the movie as he was depicted, but I think as a toy, as even a collectible, considering how just incredibly complicated the CG model was. I think they did a good job with this. It's been pretty fun messing with them, and I'm not getting any feeling that this is like a subpar figure. The fact that this thing transforms is just amazing. So as you see, he comes with his I can't remember what this is. His sword of vengeance or something like that. Sword of something. His sword, his knight sword. He comes with the shield gun, and I'll demonstrate that in a moment. He also comes with this blade, and you can, have him hold it like that, but he is engineered so that you can place it into the side of his wrist, and this is basically how he wields it in the movie. There's a big scene where he shoves this into Galvatron's chest. That's what this is for. This is the only time he uses it in the movie. Outside of that, the shield is pretty interesting. It does transform, but it's parts forming. So it basically comprises of three pieces. So you've got the two sides, and they got little 5 millimeter ports on the underside, and then the centerpiece, you've got a peg on the back, and then you've got peg positions on the front. And to have it closed, you just peg it into the closer positions, and that is your shield. And to have it in gun mode, you move it to the outer positions, and that's it. Um, for the price point, would have been nice if this thing, was one piece and it slid. They decided to save some money here. Maybe that's a good thing. Toy prices are going to be going up, and um, you're probably going to see a combination of things. Actually, it's already happening, where some manufacturers are increasing the prices of toys, and maybe companies like Hasbro are going to do something weird where they're going to try to like cut costs to keep the prices minimal, price increases minimal. Who knows? But as you can see, you can put it on his arm, and you can also store it on his back. The back has quite a few configurations. So this is kind of the collapsed look if you're going to have the backpack on. To get the sword or the shield to attach, you have to open that flap. And as you saw, there's a little hole there. And I don't know, I guess you can just kind of budget, but you could put the sword back there and you have the whole thing sitting in the back. And then you can also take this whole thing off. Now, it doesn't slide off easily. It's not incredibly difficult either, but it's going to take some effort. So there's a mushroom peg right there, and you need to wiggle it off. And this whole thing comes off. I should have made this a shield or something. I don't know. Something weird for him to hold on to, but you have that, and then you've got this very minimalized back with a lot of detail, like a surprising amount of detail. But with that piece off, you do not have a way of storing anything on the back unless you're just, you know, hanging it off the back somehow, doing something weird. But now he's got this more streamlined look, and maybe you like this better. Um, I I'm kind of fond of all of it. Like, I'm surprised at how well this collapses and looks. And if I get tired of seeing this big backpack on him, I can just pluck it off, and I can have a more, streamlined look for Optimus. So I think that's kind of cool. Um, it would have been nice if they could have done something to hide the parts on the legs a little bit better. Again, this whole design is just completely unrealistic. There's some third party companies that have made figures and they look great. I own quite a few of them, but they all are um, difficult, overly complicated to transform, and they all have like weird things with the foot where the foot doesn't move. Strangely, this Hasbro Optimus has some similar things going on with the foot. Like, um, it does swivel, so that's one thing it's got going for it. But there is no, yeah, there is no up and down. Like, it's a static joint on the foot. So it is nice that it does rotate, but um, it it does have a inside pivot, but it doesn't do anything else. You can't. There's no up and down motion. So I thought that was interesting because the third party companies have a similar thing going on with them. Um, Also, it would have been nice to maybe have a little bit more paint. I think I think the paint that it has on it is acceptable, but painting the accent, like at least the bottom portions of the front skirt, the little cables that are across his thighs aren't painted. That's one little tiny nitpick. But outside of that, I do like the color of the plastic, of the gray plastic. In some of the production photos, it looks kind of like milky gray, which kind of looks weird and like not premium or not not premium, but just looks kind of cheap. And in person, it's darker. It's a nice gray color. So um, yeah, when you get this, it will stand out as being like okay, this is nice, and the darker color just kind of helps with shadows and helps show off the details a lot better. So let's do a few comparisons. So we've got Age of Extinction Galvatron, and I think like the height and size match up pretty well. This Galvatron's also another figure that is like an impossible design. So they took a lot of liberties with this. The fact that they were able to do this much with the figure, I think is pretty cool. But now you can do the whole scene where he jabs Galvatron in the chest, although he plunged the sword like a lot further in, but that's cool. So I think these guys match up pretty well. Um, Galvatron does have some nice silver accents that maybe could have helped spruce up this figure some. But I think like for paint apps, this guy actually has more paint apps overall. So that's him in Galvatron. And then here he is with Grimlock, the official Grimlock. And this scale is not accurate. you're not going to get the you're not going to get a good representation of Optimus riding Grimlock's Dino mode like he did in the movie. It is at least nice that Hasbro made a larger Grimlock. You know, this is a pretty nice figure for what it is, but he might have to be twice the size to be accurate here. Like Optimus more or less came up to maybe right at his knee. So it would be cool if they redid that figure, redid Grimlock, but I can't imagine that they ever will. There are quite a few third party companies that made some upscaled Grimlock. So if you got a need for that, that's probably the way to go. Um, they were released many years ago, so they're going to be aftermarket prices on them. But that's a comparison to them. All right, and this might be an unfair comparison, but I figured I would just do this because people are going to be curious, and we might as well take a look at it. So this is Yellow Park. This is our studio series. Yes, the Yellow Park one is very exquisite. It looks amazing. Um, this is one of the most accurate Age of Extinction primes there are. This guy cannot transform, and this guy can transform. So, you know, again, these movie designs tend to be just so completely impossible. Like for instance, where are the tires? Where's the windshield? You just and if you go back and look at the movie and watch him transform, like you see like the parts like fold like origami. Like there's a lot of folding, lots of the outside parts kind of folding inward, and a lot of these robot parts folding from within inside. Like it's impossible. It looks cool. I won't deny that, but you know, for a toy under $100, you're not going to get this transforming into a perfect truck. It's just not going to happen. And just to go over the figure a little bit more, there's some other nice things about the figure. So the shoulder pauldrons have a bit of articulation, so they will get out of the way so you can get some good shoulder poses. The hands do have finger articulation. Eh, I did not know this came apart. This is my first time noticing that. Heh. Okay. The hands, the fingers do articulate. They're all, on one hinge, but it's still cool that they did that. They've been doing that for a lot of the, leader class, commander class Optimus Primes. He does kind of sort of have a waist swivel. It's up, kind of more like a crotch swivel, and this actually helps a bit with transformation. And these hip skirts do easily get out of the way. So he's pretty posable. His only real lacking area are his feet. His feet do have posability. They just don't have any kind of up or down motion for some reason. The head is on a ball joint. There's actually quite a bit of detail on the neck. That's another thing about this figure. Like it's really like the sculpt is pretty amazing. Like there's just tons of detail everywhere on this guy. Even with all the truck parts, there's still a lot going on with him. You know, and even the places where the truck parts stand out, they've done these things to try to slimline the look and make it look, humanoid. So, you know, this is a well-designed figure. Like whoever designed this, helped design it, like props to you. Thanks for watching. If you haven't done so, please like and subscribe, and always as the, and as always, tune into more videos coming up. Thank you.